Jambo, hello and welcome to another great episode of the Kenyan podcast, your number one trending and topical issues podcast in the 254. I do hope that you are doing wonderful and you are enjoying the beautiful month of February. So far being the second month of the year, we still have a long way to go. For those that like to do their planning way early in advance, I believe you have already started saving for December already and making plans maybe for Easter and other holidays coming up this year. Welcome to this episode of the Kenyan podcast, where we get to discuss different matters taking place that have to do with us as a Kenyan people, whether be it in the 254 or even outside globally. You might be tuning in from New Zealand, you might be tuning in from Australia, you might be tuning in from Canada, you might be tuning in from Ghana or Senegal, wherever you might be tuning from. We want to welcome you so much, and we want to thank you so much for being a big part of supporting the Kenyan podcast. So it's always a delight to have you tune in, and we do acknowledge the fact that without your support we cannot be able to move forward and we cannot be able to build without your help. So karibuni sana, and once again feel much welcome to also engage and interact with us on our social media platforms. We are on Twitter at Kenyan Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube at Kenyan Podcast, and also on Facebook and Twitter at Kenyan Podcast. Actually, Twitter seems to be like our home. You know, we are always available on Twitter. You can also tag us, you can retweet us, you can tweet us, you can mention us at Kenyan Podcast is our handle. And you can also shoot us an email, which is kenyanpodcast@gmail.com. And we would love to hear from you regarding some of the issues that you get to address here and some of the issues that you would like us to cast spotlight on. So karibu sana once again. My name is Spikes, and in case you're joining us for the very first time, we are actually available on multiple platforms. You can find us on Spotify. You can also find us on Apple Podcast. You can also find us on Google Podcast and on your favorite podcast platform. So feel much welcome to engage with us on any platform, and we shall be there to engage with you on business issues, political issues, economic issues, social issues, technology and environmental issues. All these matters, they do matter to us, and we get to address them right here on the Kenyan podcast. For today, we shall be delving into different issues, one of them being education, because right now we do understand that this is a month where the high school students are getting to enroll in high schools, and of course get to report for their first day this particular week. And it's always a hassle, and you might think that you are ready by the time we're getting to start to mid-January, that you're ready for February, so that by the time February is getting here, you are ready to pick up your items and report to this new school that you have actually been enrolled to. But it's not always like that. I remember my very first day in high school. We still had to carry those big boxes. But these days, I have seen there has been some innovation, which is a positive innovation. We have seen these school boxes, the Mabati school boxes. They have now been improved. They do have now, these are rolling, do I call them wheels? Yeah, they're rolling wheels on them, so that you can just get to, like you're now pushing a trolley, when you're pushing these iron boxes that you get to enroll to school with. So, it's something positive. Things have changed. Things are back then. People used to wait until mid-February, for this particular time the kids or the students are reporting in these first week of February. But it's a whole lot of positive things going on. I understand the Ministry of Education with the CS, Mr. Machogu, has been very categorical that no school fees should be increased. No, these heads of schools, they should not be ratifying or increasing the school fees. Sometimes you might find some schools are actually overcharging way too far, and this has been actually been a sound, a word of warning that has been given to these other high school heads, and also I believe primary school heads, to make sure that they are not overcharging when students are enrolling. Our conversation for today will not be on high schools or even on primary schools. It will actually be about the universities. Recently, the Methodist University and also other universities in the 254, they have been introducing the dress code. I would just like to ask you, whatever college or whatever university you attended, did you guys have a dress code? And do you think that students should actually be limited to the kinds of outfits they should wear because I do believe in high school you're limited, in college, some colleges you are limited, but in university you should probably have a bit of a freedom. Let us know what your thoughts are, because in universities such as the Catholic University, Nazarene University, Methodist universities, and others, I believe even Egerton, they have now introduced these dress codes, and you cannot even go to these classes or attend the university having dreadlocks, which is also another thing. For me, I do believe that if you want to be a Rasta, you should still get the opportunity not to be discriminated against, because maybe you exercise in your belief system, and therefore if they tell you that you cannot attend this school with a Rasta or the dreads, then it means that they are discriminating against you and infringing on your rights. This is a Kenyan podcast. Let us know what you feel. Should these universities be imposing dress codes on students? Is it right for universities to impose dress codes on students? Personally, I do believe that there should be a level of discretion on what you can wear, so long as it's not going overboard. Sometimes people want to do to go overboard. Do way too much, and it becomes crazy with some of these cases. Apart from that, when you go back to the education system as well, we have seen the banning of preps. Right now we cannot have even in preps or morning preps, which is still a new different kind of a change. Some people have actually supported the move by the CS, Mr. Machogu. Others have said that this is not the right move. But let me know also how you feel about the banning of school prep, so that now education or learning is supposed to start at 8 and end at 4, as opposed to when it used to happen until like 10 after having started at 7 because of the preps, or 6 because of the preps. So that is also another change. But let me know, what do you feel about the introduction or the imposing of dress codes on students in some of these Kenyan universities? What is your opinion about that particular matter? We shall be taking a short break, but when we come back, we shall be continuing with the conversation. This is the Kenyan Podcast. Yes, welcome back to the Kenyan Podcast. We hope that you are well, and in every way you are actually succeeding in all your endeavors. If not, things will eventually shape up. So do not fret. Keep on sticking on with persistence, and keep on keeping on. That is from the words of that famous hip hop jam from the 90s. Keep on keeping on. I believe that was MC Light, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, welcome back to the Kenyan Podcast, your number one trending and topical issues podcast in the 254. And we do hope that together we can be able to engage and also bring positive transformation to our society. Our goal as a Kenyan Podcast is not only to inform, but also to educate and entertain, as well as bringing our people together wherever you might be from. It doesn't matter which community you are coming from in the 254 or even outside. As a Kenyan, we just want to embrace you the way you are and say we are better together. So we were having a discussion a little bit earlier, and I was asking, whether do you side with this university management imposing dress codes on the students in universities? Do you side with them, or what is your opinion about that? And I would absolutely love to hear from you. Remember, you can hit us up on our social media platforms at Kenyan Podcast on Twitter, and we would absolutely also like to engage on that particular matter. But moving a little bit further forward, we would like to go on with a conversation about performance. When you're having a new government, or when you do have a transition from one government to another, there is what we do call milestones. And, we do have the measurement of success, or the measurement of the performance of a management, because the government is role is administration, and now we would like to do a bit of performance evaluation for our new administration. This is the Kenya Kwanza government headed by the President, His Excellency William Ruto, because of course we have already had 100 days of the government or the administration being in power, and therefore the question is how would you rate the performance of this Kenya Kwanza government led by His Excellency President Ruto? We do have different ministries, and of course we do have the one and only Minister for Interior and Security, that is Mr. Kithure Kindiki. He was actually giving his report, and defending his ministry, or defending his docket, saying that, since they took power, or since he came into power, and became the head of that particular ministry, that cattle rustling and these cases of insecurity have declined by 60%. The number of cases that normally would have been reported during the same period of about 100 days has minimized. They have reduced, and therefore you are saying that the government is headed in the right direction in terms of providing people security in these areas that are prone to cattle rustling, and people being shot because the assailants will come, the cattle rustlers will come, and they will come with guns, and they will even assault the people in that particular village. But what is your opinion, rating out of 10, what is your opinion of the performance of the new administration 100 days in? I would love to know. I am talking about different ministries, for example, the health ministry, the education docket. Of course, there has been a lot of spotlight on the education docket because the results came out and people were questioning about the results and how legit they are, because there were so many claims of what happened with irregularities and also cheating with the examinations. And that has been a problem, that has been a problem. But apart from that, we still have other ministries. Of course, we do have the Ministry of Finance, the Treasury as well, also making some changes. And we also do have all these other government ministries where we do have responsible and capable individuals being put at the helm. For example, we do have the Foreign and Diaspora Affairs Ministry headed by Dr. Alfred Mutua. And we would also love to know what he is doing with his particular docket. It's very important that we keep on having performance evaluation, not just at the national level, but even at the local levels. Just to know, 100 days in, what are the MCAs doing? Are they still pushing for the increment of their salaries instead of delivering on the mandate for which they were elected by the electorate? It's very important. We also do have the governors, having a report card from them as well, knowing how they are doing. Because we as Kenyans, we are supposed to have that knowledge that we are the bosses. We elected these people in, and they are supposed to be delivering on their mandate. And if not, we are supposed to be making changes. We are supposed to be following closely so that we can know, should we still vote them in for the next session, or should we get rid of them? That is what should be done, at all levels. The women reps, representatives, the member of county assemblies, the governors, the senators, the members of the members of the National Assembly, the members of the Senate, all these, we should be able to keep tabs on them. And I would say that we do not have a proper kind of a reporting and a system that we can be able to put them under a microscope on. I would rather we have one platform where we get to know what is this government ministry doing, what is the other one doing, or what are these people doing that have been voted in. Even for the nominated MPs, it's very, very important that we get to understand what are they doing and are they fulfilling on the mandate for which they were chosen. What is your opinion on the performance of this new administration? Sometimes they do say, no, wait a minute, give us time. We need some more and more time to be able to figure things out and to be able to get things back on track, because it's like you inherit, a system that maybe perhaps is not functioning very well, and you want to make it function, But nonetheless, this is the Kenyan podcast. We do hope that you are well. As always, we wish you peace and a harmony in everything, because that was a slogan by the late President Moi. He used to say that we should focus on getting away from politics, but focusing. He said siasa mbaya maisha mbaya. That is what he did say, siasa mbaya maisha mbaya. And he also advocated for love, peace and harmony with his leadership, which was the KANU government. But we are not back there. We are moving forward, and we would like to discuss the issues of taxes. Taxes have become a very, very big matter, and there has been different cases that have come up, high-profile cases. For example, we do know of the cases with Tabitha Karanja, who was CEO for Keroche, and tax evasion charges that were brought against her. Apart from that, we also do have this other lady known as Wamboi Waruto, who was also another businesswoman who had lots of charges brought against her by KRA, which is the Kenya Revenue Authority. Another discussion is going on because with this new Kenya Kwanza government, their push is to increase or to make sure that the tax net is capturing more people, is expanding so that it captures almost everyone who is in that particular bracket of being able to pay the taxes. And the thing is, the question has been asked, what is our tax system like? Is it promoting equality and better distribution of resources among us as citizenry? That is also an important question. And also, how effective is it in terms of administration? The KRA, they are charged with the money of collecting taxes. But also, apart from that, what assurance is there that when Kenyans keep on paying these taxes, the money is being used very well? Because of corruption, you have seen lack of accountability. In many government ministries, you have seen money going into waste, and this is taxpayers' money, as we call it, or mali ya umma, as people might rather have it. But the thing is, what assurance is there also in the way it's collected and administered? Is it the right way? Is it the right way? And also the question is there equality with it? Because you do find that the rich, most of them, and they are not paying taxes. They have found loopholes within the system and the law of these tax laws and policies, and they have been able to manipulate the system so that they are not paying taxes. But for the Wanjiko or the ordinary Mwananchi, we are seeing now, all these taxes piling up, and also the government in its excuse saying that we are trying to get more taxes and fill up the deficits that we do have in terms of our budgets, and also reduce on our borrowing, because we can be able to fund things domestically by increasing our taxes. I do not have a problem with getting to have a tax system that works. The only problem is that with its transparency, with its administration, and also with its equality, because we are seeing the hustler, quote unquote, the hustler, or the ordinary Kenyan, or the Wanjiko, being the main aim, or being the one who's all this campaign to increase taxes and capture more, being targeted at. And that is the only problem I do have. We should have a tax system that is not, sometimes they do say that we are punishing the rich, for imposing taxes on them. Why are we punishing the rich while they are doing it, they are doing well for themselves, and also maybe employing people and, doing well for others? That is not the question, but we should have more equality, and also make sure that we are also protecting, we are also trying, making sure that we do not, there is no favoritism with this. We do not sort of seem to favor the rich, so that they are at the expense of the poor in our society, so that also these tax system also helps Kenya gets to where it needs to be. And not many people are happy with these increment of taxes, and also some of these families, evading taxes. And also we are talking about Uhuru Kenyatta's family. People have come out and said we should know about their tax returns, and also how consistent they have been paying their taxes, because for so many years it has been understood that the top there, the elite, some of these big families of billionaires, they get to pay literal or no taxes, and therefore when you're telling Wanjiko now that it's upon them now to be paying taxes while these others are not paying, it's not very, very right. And also there has been a lot of politicking going on with the KRA, and also some of these forgiveness of debt. We call it some waivers, being given to some of these individuals so that they are allowed to pay taxes but not pay the full amount, or pay the amount in given deals that they do get to cut with KRA. There is a problem with that. I do not see it going very, very well. But let me know, as a Kenyan podcast listeners, what are your thoughts about the tax system in Kenya? And is the government tuning up so that more people are able to have this civic education on how the tax system also works? It's one thing telling people that we are imposing more taxes on you, but it's also another important thing to make sure that we are also teaching people and elaborating on how the tax system works in Kenya, because there's no way you're just going to wake up one morning and say, okay, this is going to work like this. We're imposing more taxes, in all these areas, excise duties, stamp duties, value-added tax, and all these other types of tax, when we are not also doing proper civic education. I believe that is also the responsibility of KRA. I have seen them do a bit more, because they do send out emails. They do also get to have public forums, but I would say this is not quite enough. There should even be more being done, so that people are not only paying taxes and being forced to pay taxes, but also they do have an understanding of how the tax system works, and also the benefits that accrues. They do say that kulipa ushuru ni kujitegemea, or they say tulipa ushuru tujitegemea. but also there is a question about the transparency and also the administration, the way it's being done for these particular taxes, and also what kinds of steps are there and modalities are there in terms of executing proper tax payment systems for the user, and also the citizen, and also for the government itself. It's very, very important. Nonetheless, we want to thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of the Kenyan podcast, the number one trending and topical issues podcast, hosted by yours truly. We do hope that you keep tabs and you do keep conversing with us on different platforms, so that we keep these conversations going that build us as a people and also help us build our beautiful nation of Kenya. We shall be discussing more matters in other subsequent episodes. But for today, I just want to give a quick shout out to everyone that has been sharing our links. I would say we are able to do much more with your support when you share our links, and also when you tell a friend about our podcast and share with them on your different platforms. You might be on LinkedIn, you might be on Twitter, you might be on Facebook or on Instagram. On all these platforms, please show some love, and also continue engaging with us on our social media platforms. Till next time, much peace and love. I want to wish you a happy and a productive rest of the week. For now, it's me signing out. I do say kwaheri.